Welcome to Econite's late night show, Sembang Alam. I'm Nurina, aka Nina, your guest host for today. For those of you who are just joining in tonight, Sembang Alam, it is a talk show where different hosts will be bringing you different issues or topics to discuss. And we get to explore the views and perspectives of our preferable guests who are from different backgrounds. For tonight, we're excited to be introducing to you the topic of the discussion. It's called The Journey Towards Sustainability. Turning points. Before we begin, I would like to introduce myself. I am an intern at Economics. It has been almost a month since I first got here. I'm a language student, currently in my last semester, taking a diploma in English at Sultan Idris Institution University. My passion was and always will be to change the world, as cliche and cheesy as that is. Hence, why I decided to do my internship here at Economics. I'm a nonconformist, a cynical idealist, and here to make the world a better place, one step at a time. And at the moment, hosting a talk show. So, without further ado, tonight we're joined by none other than our favorite speakers, Amlir, Fadli, and Yasmin, the familiar faces that have been so supportive of our Sembang Alam session. Hi! Welcome, guys. So excited to have you here again.
Hi Nina, thanks for having us.
Still dancing to the tune.
It's not my
Still
last
dancing
name
to the
though.
tune.
Hi guys! So, this is our fifth episode. Today we'll be exploring the turning points in each of the speakers' lives in their journey towards sustainability. When is it that they decided that this path is for them, and where in their point of life did that happen? Those are the things that we want to know more, and those are the things that we will be exploring more with our dear speakers. The concept of today's session is heavily inspired by Econite's theory of change, which has been the pinnacle indicator of Econite's path. So here you can see on the screen, this is a theory of change. We have four stages. Basically, the first is authentic experience relating to awareness. Second is creating the right environment, which is more to learning and educating, and reflective learning, which is taking action, and the residential experience is about empowerment. So for today's section will comprise of these, and we will revolve around these theory of change. So you can head over to the link that we provided down below to know more about a theory of change. So yeah, there are three segments for today's episode. The first segment is when and where, the second is never have I ever, and the last is trivia. So, public service announcement. There will be a penalty waiting for the speakers at the end of the trivia. So, viewers, audience out there, make sure to write down what you think is your preferred method of punishment or penalty for the victim to carry out. Bear in mind to make it safe for work, okay? Nothing too explicit or too impossible. Yeah, for the guests. All right, we want them for the next episode, okay? So let's go to the next segment. When and where? When and where? All right, so I would imagine anyone's journey towards something in life is not an easy feat, right? It's a tough process to go to somewhere. And I'm impossibly curious about the turning points in the lives of Yasmin, Fadli, and Amlir. In order to explore in depth about this topic, we've prepared a list of questions, and we're going to go through each of them in order to gain more insight and hopefully get enlightened by the end of the episode. So, without further ado, let's proceed with the first question. The first question is, when do you realize that you're being more mindful and conscious about living sustainably? Relates to being awareness.
Who should start, as usual? The lady? Or the youngest in the team? Or the youngest in the team?
Yes,
Amli, the youngest in the team. Maybe Amli, I think I'm curious. I'm really interested to know as well. Like from a different generation.
I'm also interested to know.
I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
Go first.
Okay.
Yeah, your name starts with A.
I think. Okay.
Chronological order, Amli. Chronological order.
I think when I've been working in the environmental field for quite some time, but I think talking about living sustainably, the need to do that I really understand about living sustainably is when I joined Econites. Before that, it was all about protecting the environment, the wildlife, or maybe some things about what you say about 3 Rs, which were okay. But if you want to talk about the real turning point of towards me understanding what does sustainable really means is when I joined Econites. And maybe I will reach another point when I may realize that, oh, my understanding was wrong. It's something else. But right now, this is what I understand as sustainability and what I understand as living sustainably. Of course, the explanation is something else. I think that should be good enough.
That was great, but okay, so you realize that you're being more mindful and conscious about living sustainably once you got into Econex. Is that it? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it goes the same for me too. I've been very lenient about the way I live my life, and once I start my internship here in Econex and I see how everyone, is conscious about every little things that they do, like the plastic waste, where does it go after, stuff like that. I'm quite ashamed of myself, but like, yeah, I understand with that theory. Yes, Abs, you want to go next?
Oh,
When
okay. Well, Amle, I mean, you stole my answer, but to me, it's the same. It's the same because I did not come from an environmental background. Certainly, not from the point of view of like how I grew up, or even what I studied in college. Uh, so I think I realized I was being more mindful is definitely when I was already, in some years in Equinites, when I was already like working for some years at Equinites. Even during the early parts of my time at Equinites in starting in 2008, I think it was not really about I was truly. It's not because I know I care about the environment. I was conscious about it. No, it was really how I got to know Equinox was through like a I would say like a desperation, really. I was looking for something to do, and Yasmin uh, you know um, gave me something to do. So I think uh, along the way, after some years, then I realized that this is something that means something lah. That mindful, that something that means something to you. You can work for many years and you still don't know why you work, or why the purpose of why you work. So it took a while for me to get into that situation, but after some years I found out that it means something more than what I thought it was lah. So yeah, that's for me.
okay, so basically, both of the speakers' turning points in life when they start to realize they're being conscious about living sustainably is when they are introduced to Econex or
Yeah.
somewhere along the way of being a knight, right? Okay. What
Yes.
about Yasmin? What about Yasmin?
Yasmin, the one and only who founded Equinize.
I think for me, um, it wasn't. I I I was mindful and conscious. I think at a very young age, except I didn't know it was sustainable living. I mean, I didn't really know that these things that were happening in my house had anything to do with the environment. I grew up with my grandmother, my Chinese grandmother, and things around the house. I mean, she's just a big advocate of never wasting things, food, to everything that you think of. Kalau dia makan limau pun, kulit limau tu, she will dry it up because when she makes red bean bubur, it's Chinese like recipe. You put dried orange skin in it, so you will always see her drying things up because food is just converted to something else that is for whatever reason. I remember she plants a lot of herbs and the snake grass, and then she would pound it, blend it, and make the pills because it helps with reducing blood pressure. So a lot of things were just in the house compound, and eggshells were either decorated or crushed and put into pots. Uh, in we had a carnivorous turtle. So a lot of things, and I mean, remember when I was really small, she even arranged plastic bags for different sizes, so that when you need something at home to keep things, she would ask, "What are you gonna keep inside?" So she'll give you the right size plastic bag, so you won't need a big plastic bag, something small. So I never knew these were green stuff, or like these were
Yeah.
things that we actually find it so hard to tell people that it's good to do now. So for me,
Yeah,
it
I
was,
think
yeah.
Yeah, I think since you mentioned that, Yasmin, I guess like when I thought about it again, of course, like we realized that there are phases, not phases, like there are things throughout growing up that's actually beneficial or good for the environment or conscious, like it's just that the term of living sustainability or sustainable living was not
Mm,
coined at that time. I remember like in our school, Amle kan, and we are in boarding schools, and we always asked to save water, and we have to save all these things, and through like all these things actually. But I think at that point of time it was more like it's just something that you were told to do, but it's not like consciously you felt like this is sustainable living. I think sustainable
mm.
living the term came like quite recently, maybe
Yeah,
like 10, 15
but
years ago,
you
right?
you nail an important word, Fatih. Fundamentally, uh, they were people in the past were encouraging us not to waste. Because in the
Mm-mm.
past, people didn't have a lot to begin with,
Mm.
food, that kind of thing. So wasting is like the dumbest thing you would do. Orang dulu mungkin susah ke, or just that
Yep.
it's difficult to get these things. Now with
Yep.
modernity, things are getting cheaper. You can purchase multiple of the same items for a fraction of the price. So the critical word I think here is kita sekarang call it living sustainably, but maybe in the past it was just like don't wait, don't wait.
Yeah.
That was their language. Jangan
Mm.
membazir, jangan
Correct.
membazir air, jangan membazir tenaga. Don't waste your food. But
Mm.
that
Don't waste your
message,
life.
that message, uh,
Yeah.
sekarang bila you call it living sustainably, a bit more lit and trendy.
Complex lah, maybe a little bit more complex. I think,
It's,
right?
it's
Like
just
the
like now,
vocabulary has grown and has
it's
like
just
developed into many things.
I guess
it's
over
just
time people have like a better understanding of what sustainable living is. But like it's not fair
Mm.
to like discredit what people were doing in the past and say, oh, those we're not living sustainably just because we haven't fully grasped the concept in a way. Hey.
Because a
Mm.
lot of things that are really bad now in the environment came pretty recently in the last 20, 30 years. Like I still remember going to Pasar Malam and there were no packet drinks. You don't tap out your drinks.
Mm-hmm.
You want to drink debu or whatever, you stand at the stall, they give you a glass, you drink
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
standing up, and then you're done, habis ke tak habis, you put back that glass. So
Ada baldi kan, dekat dalam baldi ada air, so you just like throw it in the baldi, right? Just bilas kan. You just
yeah,
rinse
and
the cawan,
probably last generation kot yang pergi pasar
Yeah.
malam. So you don't bang back a plastic can. You don't use a straw.
yeah.
If you're
Mm.
thirsty, you minum, you letak balik. Tu je lah. I mean, it's
Mm.
really like zero waste. Pasar malam.
Mm.
And
Not all, some.
when you buy fish, you have those fish wrapped in daun keladi, you know,
Mm.
and that's the
Mm.
norm. And some
Yeah.
houses in kampung, they have rainwater harvesting system there already. They collect the water and put it in tempayan, and they use it because the river was far away. So
Maybe,
Mm.
at that time there was no pipe
yeah.
water public supply there. So
Mm,
they have to use the rainwater basically for washing for secondary purposes. So
yeah.
and we don't call it, and at that time we didn't know even have that term sustainable living, and now we realize that that is a sort of sustainable living. And
Yeah.
right now we are still having problems. I'm still having problems on what is actually sustainable living. Is that sustainable living, or do we have to remember last 2 or 3 episodes we're talking about is going back like to the traditional way of life really sustainable than the way that we are living right now? So I'm still, every day I'm still trying to figure out, do I have to change my lifestyle totally?
Slowly, slowly.
Maybe we can just discover more about that on like next episode, because like yeah, sustainable living, it's a very general topic. There's a lot of things you can't break down from the single topic, right? There's like how it came to be and stuff. Like, yeah, based on what Amir said, like were we living more sustainably back then, or like is it the same now? It's interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for the input, guys, and thank you, Yasmin, for that beautiful story and bringing back memory, even though I haven't been there. So yeah, we're gonna proceed to the next question. All right. So, where do you find the correlation between sustainability and your own values in life? Where do you find the correlation? So what this means is like, okay, so you have a set of belief, you have a value in life. It could be like your belief system, your religion. If you're a Muslim or if you're a Buddhist, from this belief, like, what is the correlation between this and like sustainability? Like, what do you find correlates between these two? So you're Muslim, but you live
Mm,
sustainably. How do you find like a common ground? Like, how does it
mm.
correlate? Mm.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
That's a tough one.
I think maybe just to start off this, to me, I find maybe the correlation between sustainability and my values is balance. You know, just to always consider like there's balance in things. Yes, you have to use something, but you also have to make sure that you say use it wisely, or if you have taken it, you have to replenish. You know, like it's always this two stream of things lah. So previously maybe the lifestyle, maybe, you know, lifestyle that I had was like, I don't care, I just buy, I makan tak habis I buang, you know. Like now, say if I makan, I have to make sure that it's balanced. That means I don't use that much. If there is excess, like can I say keep it or give it to someone, for example, or if it's really not edible, can I you know, um, throw it in the compost bin, for example. I think to me, one correlation I can find in my values and sustainability is to find that balance, to have a balanced life, so I don't feel like I'm using too much or I'm consuming too much or I'm wasting too much. I know we waste all the time. I waste things every day. Like you, it's unconsciously or subconsciously you just waste. But that consciousness is to always remember that, you know, there's a cap, you know, there's a threshold that you need to always keep in mind, so you don't overdoing it too many times. So that's for me lah, balance lah.
So you do like
Hmm.
in your life, you believe that there should be balance, and then you correlate this with sustainability. So,
Because you have to use, right? Like in the natural resources, you have to use. So if you use, you need to replenish, or there must be a way to make sure that the amount is maintained, the threshold. You know, you don't go below. So I think if everyone keeps the balance and just use moderately, you can use excessively from time to time. I think sometime, but you have to be able to consciously, you know, um, give back to recover whatever that you have used, lah. Yeah,
okay.
that's for me.
Anyone wants to go next? Where?
I'll go. I'll go.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I think in general, I I live quite I would say I live very minimally.
Mm.
Uh, like makan, I don't know, these things in general. I desire it, but then I also don't subscribe to it. Like if it's a fad, like fashion and all that. Like I'm 80% on my entire like pre-love stuff. You know,
I'm
like,
guilty.
and I can keep things very well for a long time. And yeah, I just in general don't consume that much, like whether food stuff or non-food stuff. So I live very basic. So I think that's one thing I can do so much with very little. I,
Hmm.
I think that's how I find correlation with sustainability. But I think you also need to have a realization that you're happy with what you have. I think
Hmm.
in general, especially the younger generation, are always chasing something, or at least the media or marketing or advertising has created a mindset that you always need to chase for something to be relevant, be trendy, to have a personality, to
To be happy,
focus
right?
about yourself. Yeah, yeah. I mean, nothing bad with it. Everyone's got one
Yeah.
obsession. Like, uh,
Yeah.
and wow, I guess you'll have one or two obsessions. Because obsessions shouldn't consume you that much. I think.
Hmm.
All right.
Yasmin is about being minimal.
That's
Me
really
about balance. Amle.
interesting.
Oh, this is a difficult question lah, because it's a process of change, and things change, and I didn't realize when did I didn't really realize when did
Hmm.
I realize this. The correlation between sustainability and my values, or did I change my values to fit into what I believe is right as far as sustainability is concerned. I know sustainability
Hmm.
is the right lifestyle, but the moment that I realized I have to change my lifestyle is, I think, quite recent actually. But it was during when I was in Economics, because I start to try to understand more about sustainable living, and I realized that my lifestyle is not sustainable. It's because, first of all, I drive a car. And a car for me, well, a lot of people, I try to tell myself that it's a necessity. But at the same time, I know that a car is one of the most, if not the most, environmentally destructive products human ever produced. But I need to use it to move around. Use a lot of
Hmm.
metals, and in the process of producing the car itself, you are you are extracting so many resources, and the processes are not sustainable sometimes. How do you replace the losses caused by the production of that car? Are you going to send the car to somewhere so that it can be reused or reprocessed? You cannot do that. I don't think there is a real process which can do that. I'm already taking that away from the environment. And you imagine how many cars are being used. And that's one thing. And I'm talking about the amount of plastic that I use. And those plastic cannot be turned into petroleum again. It will stay as plastic as long as as maybe thousands of years. And that is already very, very unsustainable. But I at least I know that it is not sustainable, and I'm trying my best to
Hmm.
reduce, just like Yasmin and Fadli said. We try our best to minimize our impact on the environment, so that it will not affect the other people's survival, the future generations. And I'm sure I am as guilty as charged in causing in the future, in causing some negative environmental impact to the future generations. And of course, I feel bad, but I'm already stuck into this lifestyle. I'm
Hmm.
so sorry, my future generation. What can I say?
It's
Amle, thanks for the confession.
it's okay. I guess everyone is guilty for doing it because we weren't given the right exposure. We um weren't given the right education to know what we should and should not do.
Yeah, and I think
Hmm.
that's one of the reasons why I believe that Economics is going to the right direction, because we are helping to facilitate the process of informing the people what are the options that we can take in order to reduce the impact. For example, small things like, reusing this, reusing that, recycling this, making candles out of things that we might not use, things like that. And these are very important steps towards achieving that, reducing the impact towards the environment, and at the end of the day, causing an impact to the future generation. And I think that is something that I want to be associated with.
Hmm.
All right. Look, we
That's
have
heartwarming.
a very interesting comment about the second question, and I think we should include it here and see it.
Yeah.
What is
Right.
it?
So, yeah. So, for the second question, I've always believed in fairness and disavowed capitalism where personal gain is the goal. Sustainability would be impossible in that system. Even now, smaller developing nations are suffering due to the past industrial revolutions by larger developed nations. What do you guys think about that? I mean, it's really interesting. Like these are the values that you have in a person. Like you hate prejudice. You're anti-capitalistic. And you relate it to living sustainably.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I think capitalism and sustainability are almost like an antithesis to each other.
Yeah.
mm,
It's
Um,
like a contradiction, eh?
true.
yeah, and I'm very sure depending on which end of the spectrum you are, there's always a controversial theory or conspiracy behind it, you know. But I think let's face it here, there's no absolute sustainability, there's no absolute angel about, what's the best way to live in the future, take care of the environment. And neither do we believe that the world should be run massively in this mass capitalistic way. I think what is important to realize is striking balance, uh, be- subscribing or succumbing to capitalism and respecting certain things about life that you want to embrace. For example, I don't know, becoming vegetarian or just reducing plastic. So it's an endless battle, and
Yeah.
it's a battle that will continuously be there because that's what makes the world go around. Capitalism
It's about
creates
growth,
money,
yeah?
creates jobs.
Yeah.
Many of
Yeah.
us work for companies that are in that domain, capitalism, uh, and it pays us to have the life we have today. Uh, you realize if you realize that where do you strike that balance in your life now if you really want to be sustainable? So there's no like halo, I'm more sustainable than you kind of perspective. Um, like Amli feels guilty about driving a car. I feel guilty about driving a car too. And I can't live with my. But there are also ways to understand how your behavioral use of car,
Mm,
your travel patterns can alter or change you to realize there could be a greener way. Like for instance, I know going to KL at 8 in the morning is ridiculous in the car. I'll be stuck there for an hour burning my fuel. So in most instances, I'll train to work. First of all, it's fast when I get to read a book because it's 25 minutes. So these are little change, but then I would still need my car because I need short, my short distances can.
Hmm.
So are you holier than thou if you give up a car? I don't think so. Are
mm.
you holier than thou, or am I better than you if I eat less meat? I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone's
I
got like a guilt, right? Someone's got
yeah,
this.
It's
Yeah,
not black and white. That's the
I kind of I kind
yeah,
of agree with you, Yasmin. Like I think this point is like, for example, if you talk about certain things like say faith or religion, right? And when
mhm,
someone say prays more times than you or lagi alim or whatever, and then they can judge. I think
mhm,
it's not that. It's a personal. It's really a personal. To me, it's a personal belief that you want to become a better person.
yeah.
So, like religion, for example, you have like a set of rules or set of apa actions that you have to do, that you have to follow kan. Sama juga macam sustainability.
yeah,
So there is a set of like things that is proven to be good for you, good for the environment, good for people. So kalau you buat, lebih banyak you buat, lebih baik lah you jadi. It's more about yourself. When you do something, you feel good about yourself. You want to do more good things. It's not a point to judge people whether if this person drives a car, that means he's an evil, for example. This is my personal view because even for me, the point of sustainability to me is education, not indoctrination. I detest indoctrination. That's why it's always about, my Amli cakap kan, we always try to provide option, information, we facilitate, so that people can make better decisions themselves. So we are not in trying to indoctrinate and say that, oh, if you do this, you're a bad person. If you do this, obviously some things are clearly bad or whatnot lah. But to me, it's really about you yourself lah. If you feel conscious about doing something, then it's good for you to keep doing it, keep adding more things. Yeah.
I have to add that whether you're a capitalist or a sustainable person, assuming you're not an atheist, you would actually fall into the category of someone who either is of faith, of some kind of faith, or some kind of following and teaching value. And I truly believe all faiths in this world is already guiding you. And there are so many stories and verses, you name it, the Bible and the Quran, that already fundamentally tells you about respecting the environment or respecting nature or take only what you have, that kind of thing.
Yasmin.
Or how to live a guided life lah, kan?
But we need to go to the next question. We're on a time crunch.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. We absolutely love your point. I love listening to it. But we gotta go to the third question. All right. Third question is, when do you notice that you are actually empowering other people to live sustainably? Okay, here's a disclaimer. We have to keep this short because we have like 2 other segments to go to. So I hope you guys can give like a brief answer. Like, when do you notice that you're actually empowering other people? Give a timeline. Like,
Amle, makan apa tu Amle?
Oh, chips.
Oh, the red velvet cookie.
Red velvet. Fine.
I need sugar, man. I need sugar to think of this very challenging question.
Sustainably, okay? Consume sustainably. Give some for others.
Amlir, you're doing a great job.
Don't waste it. Eat it.
Absolutely.
I would like to go first in this. I think Econite's tagline, inspiring sustainable living, right? Like, I really was inspired by what Yasmin had in mind, or her ideology, or her passion in it. But I think we're toying with. I've been thinking about what empowering means to me. Whether I am empowering other people. I feel like in my way, when I notice that I'm empowering other people is when I'm not only inspiring, like telling good stories or telling about what I've achieved or what Econites have achieved in that sense, but empowering to me is providing or providing tools, providing a means for people to get to that point. So it's no longer to me about telling people that you can do it, blah blah blah, but to assist them and giving them the right knowledge or the right tools, the right mechanism for them to take that and do it themselves. So that is that's what I've been doing. I feel, I don't know whether I'm empowering people, but I feel like that's what I'm doing on my daily at Econites, like providing people with tools. Yeah.
Okay. Right. What about Amlir? When do you notice that you're empowering people to live sustainably?
I think my answer will be about the same as Fadli's. For me, my role in order to empower people is to give, to enable them to know what are the options to lead a sustainable lifestyle, to understand what is sustainability and why it is important to lead a sustainable lifestyle. And when I realize that they have a choice, they have the options, whatever they want to do after that, that is their decision. But my journey to the ability of me to enable them to understand what is sustainability or to live in a sustainable manner, for me that is good enough for me to to see myself as, if I can say, that I managed to empower them. And for example, one of the cases is the Project Penchala, where we managed to get a group of a community to make decisions based on the various options that they have, and at the end of the day, they pick up that option and they did something significant after that. I think I can call that empowerment.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's really cool.
I don't think I really have an answer for this question, but I think I'll say
You
I
empower
think
a lot of people.
Yeah,
no, I
definitely.
think Econites empower a lot of people, but I think thank God that there's a lot of Econite. Yeah, I think
Econite is the vehicle. You are the driver, Yasmin. Econite is the vehicle. Right?
yeah,
Like the vehicle that has
Yes.
that branding and all.
Fuels
Like we are the
Jesus.
drivers.
I can
yeah,
answer for
but
you.
I
Yasmin. A lot
never
of
thought
people
of
can
it
answer
that
for
way.
you.
I never thought of it that way. I never really thought I would. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, well, if it's empowering people, that's good to know. Thank you, guys. But sebenarnya Econites was really a fun endeavor. It's just great that now people find it empowering.
All right. Thank
Next,
you guys for the input. So next is actually an announcement. So we will be taking a quick break. G's protege will take over to announce some really important stuff. So audience will be
important stuff.
really nice. Yeah, Casper is quite a soft soul. So all right, let's
First
proceed.
of
Jasmine's
all,
back.
Yeah.
Cikgu Sazali, Waalaikumsalam. Thank you for coming again. Cikgu Sazali seems to be a frequent. Every time we have a session, he is there. Thank you,
Hello,
Cikgu
Cikgu
Sazali.
Sazali. Thank
Cikgu
you for
nanti jemput
tuning
lagi ramai
in.
orang lah tengok. The students, the teachers
Harap-harap
semua boleh sama-sama belajar.
ya, harap-harap topik ni
Sama-sama
sesuai.
berkongsi.
Yes. Jeff Hashim,
Mungkin kita
welcome.
cakap kena buat topik in BM lah lepas ni. Kita kan cakap bahasa Melayu pula kan.
Yalah.
Demi bahasa
Next week
je.
lah, next week.
Campur-campur lah, Roja.
Tu
Boleh
lah.
lah.
Kan tak faham bahasa kan kita kan. Cakap pasal sustainability kat Malaysia.
Kemampanan.
Pelestarian. Apa ayat baru?
Kemampanan.
Casper coming in.
All right, Casper, when are you coming in, Casper? Bye, guys. Bye.
Okay, hi guys, hoot hoot. Wow, you guys have such a great time. I barely can get in. Well, if you guys remember me, this is Casper, G's protege from last session. Hoot hoot. So, today I will be announcing regarding our upcoming events and also some important reminders, which are okay, so we have very important events coming onwards. This is it. We have 4 things on our plate right now, which are the Astro Awani's live webinar, Project Vocal, School of Sustainability's Terrarium Workshop, and also Clapflix. The first announcement that I'm going to make is, of course, regarding the live webinar. We will be having a live webinar session with Astro Awani on Wednesday, 8th July 2020, starting from 10 until 11 a.m. This session features a few environmental experts and activists such as Maya Karin, Tan Pei Chin, Professor Dr. Abdul Rahim Muhammad Yusuf, and our one and only Program Director Fadli Bakhtiar. So don't miss out on that, because the topic will be related to our current situation, which is care for nature, avoid pandemic. Next, we have our project that we proudly going to announce, which is Project Vocal. This is one of Econite's initiatives and funded by GEF-SGP under UNDP to unify youths between the age of 18 until 35 that are actively tackling environmental issues and bringing them to the relevant government authorities or policymakers. This program is scheduled for 18 months where the youth ambassadors will be running programs and activities hosted by Eco Nights. And they will also be given the right knowledge plus skill sets to reach out to the relevant authorities. Okay, so now moving forward, our third announcement. Let's get excited. Come on. So we're going to have a terrarium workshop organized by SOS School of Sustainability. This workshop will be on the 18th of July at 11 to 11:30 in the morning via our Zoom platform. You can see the poster that I've putting online. So for more information, log on to our website and don't forget to book your seats because right now we have a promotion, a very, very special promotion. It's buy one, free one seat for only 20 ringgit. Where else would you get that? I mean, it is very interesting and you guys need to secure your seats. So what are you waiting for? Come on, let's get your seats. And last but not least, the announcement that I'm going to announce for today is Cleflix. So we would like to use this chance to promote yet again one of our digital initiatives, which is, like I said before, Cleflix. Widen your perspective on environmental issues with mesmerizing films by both local and international filmmakers. Subscribe now for free or enjoy many more benefits with premium membership for only 1990 ringgit, guys. Where else are you going to get this? Educate yourself. You just go to our page and subscribe to Cleflix. You won't regret it, I swear. And we also have added a new feature now, which is Malay subtitles for us to engage with a more wider community. So don't forget to subscribe now. Why are you guys still hesitating? I'm so pumped up right now, aren't you? So, well, as long as I wanted to talk, unfortunately, that is all I have to announce for you guys today. So maybe we will meet again in the next session. Back to you, Nina. The floor is yours.
Of interesting announcements that we made, please be sure to check them out and refer back to the link that we provided you. And provide us with some love and support, okay? We adore you. Whoever you are watching behind the screen, thank you so much. Alright, so here's a quick announcement. 3rd of July was International Plastic Free Day. I just want to inform you the significance of this day. It is mainly to raise awareness regarding the single use of plastic and how badly it affected the marine ecosystem. So more than 31 species of marine life are known to have ingested marine plastic, whilst over 100 species of seabirds have ingested plastic artifacts. Over 250 species have become entangled in plastic, and 500 billion plastic bags are used on a global scale. So these are very worrisome. All right. So plastic free day is not just a day for you to be like, all right, I'm not going to use plastic for just one day. No, it's for you to be aware that these things are happening, these issues are real, and whether it affects you directly or not, you have to make some changes in your lifestyle. So that's the announcement. All right. For the second segment is Never Have I Ever. Some might have already been aware of this concept, but for those who don't, Never Have I Ever is a game where a set of questions will be asked, and the players will have to answer whether they have or have not committed to it. We're in for a fun ride, so bear in mind we are on a time crunch, so I'll need to limit some of your answers. Start with a yes or no, and then give a brief explanation to your answers, okay? All right. So the first never have I ever is called out a person for littering. Have you or have you not?
Yes, I have. I like
Uh-huh.
photo,
Hmm.
and then I remember winding out a glass and went, oi! Lepas tu akhirnya tak dengar kot foto tu.
I think what I've done was like I think someone threw sampah, and then I just picked up in front of that person and just put it in the
Well,
in
passive
the
aggressive.
yeah. Like I'm like passive aggressive kind of person lah. Like I'm not gonna
Call
sound
that
you, but I'm gonna like do in front
out.
of you and like
You
you
didn't
should
call
see
him
how it's
out.
done.
You help him. You help him litter properly. You help him buang his sampah. You didn't call him out.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I'm too weak. I'm too weak.
Amle,
What about Amlir though?
Pernah.
Wow.
nah.
I
I
got
see.
really upset. I think my voice was a bit high like that time. I think I was being a bit uncontrolled, but that was long ago when I was really young.
Angry Amlir.
Really, you don't have to do it now.
No, more control now. I will do that in a more controlled manner.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
sorry. Somebody else came in, not her name. You don't miss a lot. So don't worry.
All right. So next, never have I ever. What is it? Never have I ever guilt tripped someone to live sustainably. Have you? Have you not?
Yes, guilty.
Baz is laughing.
Guilty. Yes, I guilt trip my husband all the time. I guilt trip my mom sometimes, but now she reverse guilt trips me.
Oh.
Yeah,
How the turntables, apparently.
I guilt trip my kids if they don't finish their food.
Yeah, I think in that sense that yes, we always guilt trip our family members lah because without fear of repercussion.
Oh, to strangers, I go like, oh, I took a train here today.
Yeah. So I think family is always the avenue to guilt trip lah. Yeah.
They gotta go do it. What about Amler? Have you guilt tripped someone?
Ya, banyak kali. Banyak kali.
Baik kali ya Amli muka.
Mesti kan.
Yalah.
When you're advocating for it, you have to.
Yeah, I think another one. I think usually this is what usually happens, and when you work, especially when you say work with on events or corporate partners, for example lah kan. And then they were like, okay, we want to do a green event, but then they don't even consider all this. Like, oh kita nak bawa styrofoam lah, So macam, you buat green event kan, tapi you tak consider pun benda-benda yang sepatutnya ada dalam green event. So I think I guilt trip many corporations lah into telling them that no, this is how it should be done. Otherwise, why would you do a green event if you are not trying to do something that is green, Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the input. The next never have I ever is kill the plant or fish. Have you or had it?
Banyak kali.
Tak nak makan kan?
I'm guilty.
I'm living sustainably, not living living to kill myself, okay?
But kill a plant, like what do you mean by kill a plant? Like you
I didn't do
consciously
it on purpose. I didn't do.
Yeah.
I didn't
For a
do
reason.
it on
For a
purpose.
reason, yes. Yeah.
Ya, dulu I tak tahu tanam barang. Masa
Yes.
kecil-kecil tak tahu tanam. So banyaklah plants mati. But I'm better now.
I mean, I killed a lot of fish by accident. but
I don't
that's
eat fish.
over-
I don't know how to cook fish, so I've never killed fish, edible fish.
I'm probably kill a rat during like a biology, experiment. It's like consciously lah, like okay tengah bedah kan, so macam alamak terpotong jantung macam tu lah, like I feel like that is like
Pagi ni
Apa?
soalannya ikan atau ikan.
itu lah, so I rasa macam I tak pernah kill ikan lah as like not directly.
Yeah, I
ikan.
kill a few frogs during my biology labs.
Understandable. All right, wait. We have questions coming in. Thank you guys for asking those wonderful, wonderful questions. So we're gonna attend to a few of them. I'm sorry we can't attend to all of it. We're gonna go with a question by Zach. Has single-use plastic usage increased during this pandemic?
Oh wow.
Since we were talking about it.
I don't have the data, certainly. I mean, we can look for the data somewhere, but
I cannot say anything about that. There is no data about it on it.
yeah, but personally,
nampak macam banyak.
Nampak macam
Yeah.
banyak.
A lot more takeaways lah, you know. I think a lot more takeaways kan. People just call and send food.
Tapau, delivery.
Hmm.
Nampak macam
Oh,
banyak
yeah.
lah.
Because
I think a lot.
like say if I go out, I will bring my own bags. I'm sure Yasmin and Amli will bring your own bag, kan? But because you say call for people to send the food to send whatever to your home during
Yes.
pandemic, like they have to send it in a plastic lah most of the time. You know, food, especially the food lah, they will send it in a plastic. So you know, there's no way that we can stop that lah during those time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, relating to this, there's another comment by Izati Karide. Talking about sustainability during pandemic, what do you guys think about single-use masks? I read that single-use surgical mask is more efficient than the fabric one, but it pisses me off that apart from plastic, now blue masks are everywhere on the streets. This is
Yep.
right. The pandemic, we're using it as a way to like litter and waste. That's not cool. But like, what's the the ethics behind this? Like, you can't really just constantly use the
I'm
mask.
using multiple use mask. I bought one. Well, a friend bought it for me, and it can be washed. I got two of them, so I can use it. One when the other one is being washed, and then I use the other one. I'm not really using the single use mask.
Yeah. I just did my mask laundry yesterday. I
Yeah.
had multiple mask yang kain punya. And I bought it from Yuning Design. Check it out on Instagram, where all the mask, the fabric is actually from fabric. So she upcycle a lot of this kind of fabric. So I think by late March macam tu, I can't do mask.
Yeah.
It doesn't last the whole day.
Yeah, I wear fabric mask myself, you know, so I can rewash it again. But I do have macam spare lah in the car, cause just in case sometimes I forgot to bring my own mask and then like I have to go out, so I have spare like at home skate, in the car skate. But I don't usually use it lah. I feel like to me it's really waste because it's almost like a single use plastic. You use for 8 hours, you have to throw. Every time you go out, you have to throw. So I feel like it's really waste, and then we don't have any plans on how to manage the waste yet because it's technically like a what do you call it like a hazardous waste, kan?
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
macam,
Today it seems that I see a lot of these single-use masks on the road today. I don't know why. In the drains, on the roads, and of course before that I saw them also, and people are still not. I don't know. They're just throwing things just like that, and I realized that God, there is still a lot of awareness which need to be nurtured in Malaysia with regards to this.
Yeah, I like wearing fabric mask. It's just I don't know. It just suits my personality better.
yeah, like all black ke, kan? Macam like that really cool design, kan? Yeah.
All right.
Let's go with your outfit. Yep.
Thank you guys for the comments. We're going to proceed with the next Never Have I Ever. We will be addressing some other questions after this, though. Don't worry. The next Never Have I Ever is let my fear conquer me. Have you or have you not? Are you guilty of this or?
Many times.
Yeah.
Many times, man.
Stupidly,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. And for someone who
I
has
remember. I remember when I think Yasmin and I we went for a very very important presentation somewhere some time ago. I think I let my fear conquer me. It was like I freaked out, man. I totally freaked out. Like no matter what I said to myself, I just let Yasmin say it. Like Yasmin, I can't speak. Yasmin, please just.
Okay, you tell me later what it was all about. I forgot.
Yeah, I will. They were only both of us in that room and some really, I would say like powerful or like successful people that we were presented. I freaked out, man. Yeah, that was definitely one of it, lah. But I have a lot of other moments, especially on the stage. I think like I still have this stage fright of talking in front of people, and sometimes
Wait, so the answer is yes, right, Fadli?
Yes.
Okay, Amli?
Yes or no?
Sorry, what is that? Sorry? I can't
Have
really
you
hear.
ever not let your fear conquer you? Are you guilty of it?
Oh yeah, a lot of times. Yeah, I think it's something which is natural lah kot. You know, especially kalau because when you're working in the forest, there was banyak kali I became, afraid of something. But then I will try my best not to, I try my best lah not to let my fear conquer me. But sometimes you still takut juga. Especially dengar bunyi harimau, and the harimau can.
That's legit fear, though.
You.
Yeah.
That's another story.
That's legit.
That's legit.
I lagi takut
Now I feel
harimau
bad.
daripada manusia.
That is another story. Twice I heard harimau twice, and you tahu that they can go after you. They can makan you lah if they want to.
And then they bau that Mama ni kurus tak sedap.
Buang masa lah. Buang
Alright.
Sorry, Nina.
It's okay. Let's go to the next segment, guys. This is a trivia. So we haven't received any punishment or like any comments about what penalty that could be.
Okay, we can skip that.
Guys, viewers out there, I need you guys to please suggest our guest for a penalty. A penalty or
They
punishment.
don't have to, Nina. I think
Because we're gonna do a trivia and like the person who loses have to do something, you gotta punish them, make it fun. Right, so we made it to the trivia. I'm stoked simply because I want to see the guest or whoever lost the game to go through the penalty. But no worries, we'll still care for you guys and still want to see your faces here. So we'll be gentle. The first question for the trivia is okay, so here's the prompt. Dato Dr. Dionysus Sharma is the Executive Director, CEO of WWF Malaysia, who also wrote a
This is
report on
unfair.
survey.
Unfair because both of you worked with him before. I don't know.
Okay, but look at the question first. Come on. What's the question? What is his nickname?
Okay.
Dr. Dino or Dr. Din?
Okay, first, Nina,
Yeah?
can I correct something?
Uh-huh.
He was the CEO.
Okay, my bad. He was
Yeah.
the CEO, guys.
He was.
Sorry for that. Alright.
Yeah,
So
it's a
Okay.
different.
So what's his nickname? Nickname Amli.
Nickname. Is it Dr. Dino or Dr. Din?
I met
Alright.
him few times.
He was
Yeah.
my boss.
And the answer is, of course.
Dr. Din.
Right,
Dr.
got it
Din.
right. Huh,
We
you
have a
guys
Dr.
are not
Din
gonna
in
keep up
WWF.
this streak. You guys are not going to keep up the streak, don't worry. The second question is, keep it coming. The second is, after working as an assistant engineer for 5 years, Gurmit Singh opted out of the rat race and dedicated his life to environmental activism. He is the chairman and founding what's the next? Executive Director of the Center of Environment, SETEM, a nonprofit organization dedicated in improving environmental quality using technology and sustainable development. All right, so the question is, what is his wife's occupation? First is an organic farming activist. The second is a vegan practitioner /
Ma-
The third is a mushroom farmer. What is the answer?
Be nice if she was number one. I think it's
I
number
would.
one.
Mushroom
I would
farmer,
choose-
no?
Could be.
Oh, I think it's number one because I've been to some of the events about organic farming and stuff, but I'll choose one.
All of you chose one. Okay. All right.
Yay.
Let's see the answer. And we're going to activists. Yay! All right, that was really great.
Give us something tougher, Nina.
We're trying. All right, the
Come on,
third.
Casper.
Come on, third question. Come on. All right, Yi Ka-ho is a music lecturer at Sembang Alam who uses his music to bring media attention on important environmental issues. Yes. He has performed in many countries, including the US, the UK, Paris, Italy, Russia, Indonesia, Singapore, and Malaysia. So the question is, where was he born? Nebraska,
This is unfair.
The name sounds like wow.
I'll make a
Where-
guess.
I'm gonna give this a shot, okay? 3.
3,
Three for me.
You say Kepala Batas. Okay.
But
And
Nebraska out of. Oh, wow. Yasmin,
yeah.
you will be punished, penalized. What is the penalty for Yasmin? What does she have to do? Come on.
Ketua kesamping.
Well,
Ketua
clearly,
kesamping.
I don't know much about music. Or
Oh,
maybe
don't
No,
worry
I
about the
that's
reason.
a question. It's okay, but ask more question. Don't worry. And the next question is it's about religion.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Is
Uh-huh.
it really?
really.
Wow.
Is this a truth or
Wow.
false question?
Whether you became trustee of Recheck Malaysia, a non-profit body focused on coral conservation in 2009.
Wow, I didn't know.
The question is, what is the title of the book she co-authored in 2007? First,
Don't know. I didn't read
carbon
it.
grows profits. Second, grow carbon, cut profits. Third, reduce carbon, expand growth. Which is which one of these
I mean, from based on her background, I would say number three, expand growth.
Hmm.
One.
Or grow profit. Oh, cut carbon, grow profit. Wow. I would choose number
Fast,
three.
fast choose
Number
number
one.
three. Yasmin number one. Amlir number one. Okay, who got them right? Who got them wrong? Let's see.
Just a guess.
Yay, Yasmin
Oh.
Amlir. Mhm, mhm.
But wow, this is a surprise. I didn't know. Eh? Hmm.
I mean, we will provide the link to their profile after this. Go check them out. They're environmental heroes, guys. And
Cut carbon, grow profit. Wow.
this is
Wonderful.
the last question. Okay, so this question, we try to relate this to one of the speakers. I found this on like one of the article about one of the speakers here. It could be one of you guys. And like, okay, it goes like someone is frustrated with the lack of locally produced environmental something, and this is what drives them to continue to further their advocacy work. So, like, what are you frustrated by? Are you frustrated by the community-centric initiatives, like the lack of community-centric initiatives, the lack of CSR programs, or the lack of audiovisual materials?
I
To
Hmm.
Is this a quote from someone?
This is a
uh,
quote.
probably.
Lack of locally produced
It looks like it has
environmental.
been edited.
Oh yeah, I mean like it seems like it feels like clef, right? Like something like clef or like
Yeah, it sounds
custom.
like
Like so,
clever.
I would probably choose number three
Yeah.
as well.
Amle?
It's
Yeah,
about
number
film. It's
three.
about local films, huh?
Alright, and the answer is yeah.
Yay!
Oh my god!
Hey, we know what we're talking about.
Oh my god! So close to beat you guys.
Remember what we said.
No, but
Yeah.
actually, Yasmin, this was taken from an article about you. But
Really?
yeah, like you were frustrated by the lack of audiovisual material, and
Yeah.
that's
I would have
genuine.
answered the
I'm
same
a bit
thing,
sad
like
by
because that's
the stuff that
yeah,
I read. Yeah.
It's
yeah,
okay. I mean, you said a lot of inspiring things, so that's why you can't keep track of
yeah.
everything,
I'm
right?
We
forgetful.
learn from the best.
Yeah. So we
If
don't.
you're like the best, you will go to sleep early, guys.
All right. So the one who got it wrong was Yasmin answered one wrong, and Fabs answered one wrong. So the two
Yep.
of you have to
Yeah, but
carry out the penalty.
What do we have to do? Do we have
Uh,
to like Yasmin? Can you like high five me?
no, it's on the other side. Closer, closer.
Yeah.
actually,
That's our penalty. Like, yeah, okay, Yasmin.
tu Kak Amle, cucuk Kak Amle. Yeah,
We
jangan
Amle,
ya.
discuss further on the
Amle,
penalty.
glitter,
All
glitter, Amle.
Sorry, Nina.
right. Okay, guys. Do you guys know of like TikTok?
Hmm.
You guys
Yeah,
Oh,
TikTok?
yeah, I heard about it. I don't have
heard
the
about
app.
it.
My daughter
Yeah.
has.
I'm thinking about making you guys do a TikTok dance and like post it on Econite's Facebook.
I'll do it. Teach me how to
Oh
do.
yes, yes, we love you. Fabs, you
Okay.
gotta do. All right. It's okay. We're
I
gonna
I
have to.
I'll,
can.
Only just 2 hours. Okay,
Do
all
it
right.
now,
We'll try. Yeah,
or
next
this
week.
is a
No,
Uh,
no.
punishment?
We have to post it
yeah, we have to
on the
post it
page
on
later.
Facebook
Okay,
group. So
I'm
that's
up
your
for it.
punishment. I
We'll
will
record
have
it
you
sometime
guys
next week.
down. Make sure you do
Okay.
it, okay? All right. So that was the last segment. Thank you guys so much. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being so open and receptive and being. I actually really love the input that you guys provided. There's always like it makes me more aware of how inadequate like my level of knowledge and like experience in comparison to you guys. And it's something that I want, inspire me to learn more and be better, of course. So once again, thank you guys so much, Yasmin, Fadi, and Amlir, for the great input during this podcast.
Welcome.
Thanks,
Thank
Nina.
you.
We will be
Thanks
seeing
for being a
you guys.
wonderful host.
Oh, thank you. So we'll be seeing you guys next week with a brand new host and a brand new deep talk topic. It's been an honor to be the host for today's episode of Sembang Alam. Thank you, and apologies if I've committed any
Bye.
mistake or if I've
Sorry,
offended
guys,
anyone.
for those who
Say goodbye to our
send
viewers.
questions.
Oh yeah, question. It's
Sorry.
usually we will address the question after this, guys. Sorry. All right, so I gotta give you my goodbye speech. Thank you so much for attending. And thank you so much for tuning in today's episode of Sembang Alam Journey Towards Sustainability. We'll see you guys next week with another guest host. We'll bring you more issues to talk about and explore that with our wise voice speakers. We are a talk show where the speakers get to explore what they seek and the host gets replaced every week. Stay safe, stay sane, and good night. Bye, guys.